Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second segment, episode 218 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh. Today we thought, given the time of year that it is, it would be important to talk about spring storms are coming, and are you covered? This is a really big deal for us. I think it's so fresh on our minds.
It is. You know, a lot of people, as you get farther toward the coast, have to worry about hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
We have to worry, as we get closer to the Midwest, about tornadoes.
Yep. And the tornado sirens have already gone off twice this year from two different storms, and we have another round coming in on Thursday.
So they're not called tornado sirens anymore.
What are they
They're
called?
not supposed to be. They haven't been called that in a long time. I just learned this last week. They are storm sirens.
Sirens?
Yeah, they don't set those off. You can cut all this out if you want. They don't set those off to indicate tornadoes anymore. I just learned that last Thursday from Pete Delkus. Because he was talking, because that was the day all those storms were coming through, and he was talking about, and the storm sirens are going off, and somebody said, I think it was Jesse, said something about, you don't call those tornado sirens anymore, and he's like, well, yeah, so, I did not know that. So
I didn't either.
Okay.
So in preparing for this segment, we reached out to Tammy Farmer, who is an insurance salesperson in our office, and asked for what are some of the tips that she has for us, because insurance is what is you're going to be left with at the end of the day. And one of the things that she pointed out was to make sure that there is water backup coverage and leak and seepage. She said, interestingly, that these are both two endorsements you must ask for. So they are not in coverage. So I'm going to repeat one more time. Water backup coverage and leak and seepage. These are two separate items, and they come into play at different times depending on the level of damage that you have to your house. You don't want that on anybody, but you must ask for these endorsements, and it's best to go ahead and do that when you get done listening to our show.
Yes, I would agree. And if in the comments below, we'll put Tammy Farmer's contact info, because Tammy is a great resource in our office. Every time that we've asked her about something, she knows what she's talking about. She is kind of a no-nonsense person, and has, people that we've referred to her before have said, she did a great job, thanks, I've got great insurance. And sometimes Tammy has said, I can't make the deal that you're getting with somewhere else because of your relationship with ABC or whomever.
Absolutely. So she's a really good one to go to.
She is. The number two thing that she talked to us about is to make sure that your deductible is something that you are comfortable handling, because you can get a variety of deductibles. Most of the time you're going to get $1,000 deductible made available, or you're going to jump to a 1% deductible. And when you say 1%, that is 1% of the amount your home is insured for. So if your home is insured for $500,000, that means you have a $5,000 deductible when you start a claim. Meaning you have to kind of know up front if that claim is going to be worth filing, and not just to meet that deductible, but your insurance rates will go up. If you have a history of claims, regardless of the company, your rates will go up.
You always will. One of the other things that we want to also point out is looking at your trees. Removing tree branches, and one of the kickers that you should be looking for is if your tree branch is beginning to split or if it loses bark. I had two over the front of the house that were beginning to lose their bark, and we just had our trees trimmed in the fall, but for some reason they didn't make it through the winter, and so that was one of the ways that we knew that it was time to take those down before the storms get here and we have damaging winds that could actually knock those onto the house or onto our cars or in our neighbors' houses. The other way to tell, this is happening right now at our neighbor's house. She has a tree that kind of has split a little bit, and the one in the branch in the middle has not budded. The other two are, which typically means that portion is going to be dead and is going to become very susceptible to high winds. So these are things you really should pay attention to, especially if they're large and mature trees.
I would agree. The other thing that you may want to consider for this time of year is getting a generator installed. I've started looking into that just because I live in an area where I'm kind of the first one to lose power and the last one to get it back, because I'm really right at the end of literally at the end of an electric line. And so with the number of times that I've lost power over the last several years, it's a big consideration for me now. That with the companies that I've talked to, there is a difference in the price. I have a relationship with one of the big box stores. I went to them. I've also done some work looking at it, not as a not the company that's going to do everything to install it, but maybe handle some of those pieces on my own. And there's money to be saved doing that.
So you're going to GC it yourself?
Maybe.
I think you should. I'll help.
It's not that big. Okay. Last was copy and secure important documents.
And this is really important because this is going to be, we're talking about wills, insurance policies. These are the things that are going to be so important. Your will, someone's going to have a copy of that, but just make sure. And the insurance, there's nothing worse than not having that ready. The other thing too, go ahead and load your phone and make sure your insurance agent is inside of your phone. I know that when mine burned down, that was one of the first calls that I made. So we hope you found this really interesting. These are 4 topics or 4 points that we thought we would bring up. There's a lot more. If you like more information about any of these or tell us what your favorite one is, please let us know and we'd be happy to put those out there for you.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.